Ladies and gentlemen, this is an article that came out in the Fresno Bee, December 14th, 2017, and I will leave the link to this article in the description box. Whites running out of hope. 21,350 deaths of despair in California. Suicides, alcohol poisoning, and drug overdoses fueled in part by the opioid plague are the leading cause of rising death rates among white people in California, according to a new study that found the trend is widespread in rural areas of the state. Generally, death rates for people of color remain higher than for whites, but the study released by the California Endowment said death rates have been decreasing among Blacks, Hispanics, Asians, and Pacific Islanders in California and are increasing for whites. A preliminary study by the nonprofit last year found white death rates had risen in Fresno, Kings, Tulare, and Kearns counties. The new study looked statewide and found rural Northern California counties also have been among those most affected by higher white death rates. An effort to stop the increase in white death rates are falling short, the researcher found. The endowment, a private statewide health foundation, said 21,350 young and middle-aged whites lost their lives between 1995 and 2014 in what have been called deaths of despair. The sad part of this report in these deaths are all preventable. These are not deaths from cancer. These are deaths from drug abuse, suicide, said Sarah Reyes, the California Endowment Director of Communication for Healthy Communities. The deaths are the result of when people feel a sense of loss and feel like they don't belong, Reyes said. They feel like they don't matter. At the base of this report are people who don't have access to services and don't see opportunity for them to move forward for themselves and their families. That hole of despair gets deeper and deeper. According to the new study, death rates from drug overdoses doubled between 1995 and 2014 among young and middle-aged whites in California. The death rate from alcohol poisoning or binge drinking more than quadrupled among younger whites and increased 12-fold among those 40 to 64. The rate of suicides among middle-aged whites increased by 37% after 2000. The preliminary report released last year said the death rates for whites in Fresno, King, Tulare, and Kearns County was almost 40% higher than the overall white death rate in California from 2010 to 2014. Accidental drug poisoning for middle-aged adults since 1990s had risen 212.3% in Fresno County and 163.7% in Kern County. County drug overdoses for white men ages 25 to 34 in Kern County had increased 248%. Suicides in the region had increased 121%, and alcohol poisoning had increased 15-fold. Reyes said she sees little being done to reverse the increasing white death rates in Fresno, Kings, Tulare, and Kern counties. Poverty continues to increase, and the negative health issues continue to plague us. She said, as far as I know, at least in the counties in the Central Valley, nothing has been done proactively to deal with these issues. Wow. That sounds pretty bad there. Okay. People cope through drug and alcohol use, through suicide, she said. We need to provide people with an opportunity to feel and believe that they do matter and that they do have the right to live a healthy life. Deaths from overdose stand out and are likely to offshoot of the opioid plague. Dr. Stephen Wolf, the leading author of the study, but opioid addiction is just one factor in the increase in the death rate for whites, he said. The study suggests what's going on here is related to the living conditions in those locations and can't be blamed on opioids specifically, Wolf said. The study said the dramatic rise in opioid addiction and fatal overdoses have rightfully alarmed the public and policymakers. But addressing drug abuse alone will not stem the rise in death rates. Instead, the study said, addressing the economy and alleviating the hardships responsible for chronic stress may do more to alleviate depression and may save more lives than focusing exclusively on symptoms. Wow. Wow. This is really deep, but one thing I always notice, like I said before, this is never, never the fault of the addict. It's everybody's fault. It's the economy, it's jobs, it's this, it's that. I have yet to see them put any blame or any responsibility on the drug user. So tell me what you think. Look like whites are dying more than any other group in California due to what they label as deaths of despair. Please leave your comment and subscribe, and don't forget to hit on that notification bell. Peace, family.